everybody. Welcome in and Merry Christmas. This is Rich. This is the Suffolk Crunch. It is match preview time. Town heading to South London on Boxing Day to take on Alex Neil's Millwall at the Den. It is a 1 p.m. kickoff. So we are going to get into a little match review. Firstly, we will go for, as it's Christmas, let's go for 125 likes. Hit the subscribe button if you're new, please. We've had a few new subscribers of late. If you are watching live, get involved in the comments like Adam Cornish has. Merry Christmas, Adam. Hope you're well. Also, turn on those notifications bell on your devices so when we are live, you can get involved in the chat. And also head over to the Bad Shirt Club website, who are the sponsors of the channel, to have a look at your jackets, your shirts, your bucket hats. They've got them all over there. Use the code TSC30 at the checkout for 30% off. We have got Richard Chandler in. Merry Christmas, Rich. Hope you're well. MBITFC, Merry Christmas. Anyone else, get involved in the chat. Leave your comments. Chat about Town Millwall. Good afternoon, Phil. Good afternoon, Shane. Merry Christmas to both of you. Adrian, happy Christmas. There will be no Ashes preview of the fourth test. We'll do a little chat here for 2 minutes right now, and that's it. And then I'll do a review. So the review of the third test at Adelaide is out on the channel. Good afternoon, Kim. Merry Christmas. If you haven't watched that, go and have a look. I think we had over 300 views on that, which is decent. Obviously, it's now the fallout. It's a blame game. England players on the lash. Stag do style in Noosa, Ben Duckett. I think we've all seen the video of him. Doesn't look good, but I think, look, they're letting off steam. They're allowed to have a drink. Maybe it doesn't look good. When beer was good, yeah, it does look good. ITFC, mad, Merry Christmas. What's the Ashes, says Phil? Yeah, no Jofra Archer, he's out of the squad. He's injured, side strain. Ben Duckett loves the beer, says MBITFC. No Duckett. No, Duckett's in, no Pope, and no Archer. Beffle's in at 3, thrown him into the lines. We'll see what happens there. And Gus Atkinson's back in. So other than that, yeah, we will do a review of the test whenever it ends. Will it be 3-1? Will it be 4-0? Will it be a draw? Let's see. But yeah, Ipswich head to the Den on Friday. It is Wednesday today. I'm wondering what day it is. The Den has got a capacity of 20,146. The weather is going to be 6 degrees. It's quite chilly today. I've been out. If you've been out, wrap up warm if you're going out. It's very cold out there. Tim Robinson is going to be the referee. Millwall's last 5. Lost to Blackburn 2-0. Lost 3-1 at home to Hull City. A 1-1 draw away at Derby. 1-0 win away at Bristol City, and they beat Southampton 3-2. They're sitting 6th in the league. They're on 35 points, 22 played, 25 goals scored, 31 conceded. So they've got a minus goal difference, -6. Millwall can lead Ipswich with a win at the Den. Millwall and Ipswich have not finished 0-0 in their last 12 meetings. Max Crocombe ranks 2nd in the Championship for saves per match, 3.6. Marcelino Nunes has created the most big chance for Ipswich this season with 7. They've scored 9 goals in their last 5 games. Town, I think Millwall have got quite a few injuries. Yes, George Hurst has got his annual Christmas off. 27 watching live, please hit the like button now. So the last time they lined up was Crocombe, McNamara, Kramer, Liam Cooper and Sturge. Mitchell and Doherty in midfield. Emaku, Nigeli, Ballo and Ivanovic up front. And I think they've got some injuries. Let's have a look down here. Injuries and suspended. Aziz, suspended. Good player, he's out. Baker, Boatley, groin injury. Denore, Kelly, hamstring. Sacco, Josh Coburn is injured. Jensen, Kundal, Luongo. Sad about Mass and his cruciate. And Will Smallbone. So they've got a lot of injuries. Town have not got many injuries, really. Obviously, George Hurst yesterday, Kieran talked about his groin, so he's out for a little while. Sammy Smodics is still on the sick. We'll talk about him in a minute. He's not trained, he's ill. Do we keep Sammy Smodics? There's a question for you in the chat. Or would you look to move him on in January? I'm not saying I would. Just throwing it out there for you. Wes was back in the week, which was great to see. He played for the 21s against Charlton. That was a 3-0 win. Elkan Baggott scored. Cameron Humphreys was very impressive. There's talk about why Cam's not got any football for the first team. But Kieran did speak about him and Baggott yesterday, possibly moving out on loan in the window. I think it's time for these two. Kieran said they're not like young players anymore. It's time for them to go and forge a career. And it's going to be away from town. I don't see how either of them are going to force their way into McKenna's thinking. Ben Watlin, good afternoon, Merry Christmas. I don't see how either of them force their way in. Baggott, obviously, he's behind Greaves as the spare centre-back. And then you've got Cam Humphreys. He's not getting a look in the midfield, and I don't think he will. Richard Chandler says, I'd start Akpom in the 9 Boxing Day. I don't think Sammy offers anything, to be honest. Cam and Elkan both need selling, pure profit as well. Agree. It's just time for them, Rich, to go and play football. You know, you train all week, and then on a Saturday, I see him marching down to sit on the bench, or sometimes Cam's the spare man and he's doing his running drills. You want to play football. You want to play football. And I will liken them to going back in the day, Tom Eastman, who I sponsored for the academy. Played a few games for the first team under Roy Keane. Fell out of favour. He went to Colchester United and made, I think, nearly 500 appearances. And he's had a decent career, you know, and he's still playing at Maldon and Tiptree. So if you're Humphreys and if you're Baggott, go and play football, lads. Go and play football. Get a decent club, which I think both of them will. Play 40 games in a season, and then you never know what happens. You might get picked up somewhere along the line and come back up. But I'll probably agree with Adam's comment there about probably they're both League One. Harry Clark to join Sheffield United, says Adam. Well, yesterday we obviously, I don't know if everyone see it, the link that Sheffield United are interested in Jack Clark, and I'm thinking there is no way in a million years that we are selling Jack Clark in January. I know he probably wants to play, and he's probably maybe a little bit frustrated, but I think he knows his role at the minute, which is probably a sub, and he's coming on. Adam, you are interested in Megan Fox, but there's no chance that you're going to get a date with her. There you go. This is all you can say, that Sheffield United are interested in him, but it's not happening. We know that's not happening. It's just maybe they got the wrong Clark, like I tweeted. Maybe it was Harry. I don't know, but he's obviously Harry Clark he's going to be one to move out. Rich says about Ben Johnson. Marvin says, I might be deluded, but I still think top 2. A lot of games to go, and we have a strong squad compared to many. Well, we're not a million miles away, are we, really, from the top 2 spaces now with 5 points. I will have a look at the fixtures in a minute and see the Boxing Day games and who's playing who and who's going where. How I think we'll line up on Friday at the Den. I think Christian Walton. Sean's in. Afternoon from a cold Yorkshire. Merry Christmas. Adam says he's got a Sheffield United mate who says send back Obene and they want Burns. Interesting to see what happens with Wes. Rich says you needed an academy player as a spare man to name 9 subs, so I keep Barbrook and let him train and cover that. Yeah, well, he's back, and he's back from his loan at Lincoln. Didn't really work out for him, so that's probably a good shout, and let the other 2 go out. But getting back to I think Town will line up if everyone's fit, which nearly all are. Walton will be in goal. Davis, Kipray, O'Shea, Furlong. I think the back 4 pick themselves. Midfield, Matasiwu, obviously, a lot of debate online in the week, obviously, with Sam Morsey's reported transfer going to Bristol City. People are trying to tell me that Matasiwu is a better player than Sam Morsey. I still can't have it. I think he's a very good player, and I think he's done really well this season, but to compare him to Sam Morsey after 20 games, tell him he's a better player, I don't believe him. I don't believe him. I watch football with my eyes. Maybe, yeah, we're a bit biased towards that back-to-back promotion team. But for me, Morsey, with his leadership, yeah, obviously. But I think all-round footballer, he could score a goal. He could get that ball off the goalkeeper. He could spin and turn. I don't think Matt Seaver looks confident doing that at the moment. I think he's done well. He does well to break up play. But I don't think he's at Morsey's level yet. I'm not saying he can't be, but at the moment, that's one for the chat. What do you think? Matasiwa or Morsey? Or both, you know? There you go. Rich says Morsey is the better player and definitely consistently better so far. Yeah, but Matasiwa's only played 20 games, that's what I will say. But he will be in our midfield at the Den on 9 yellows, so hopefully he can steer clear of a booking and won't miss Coventry. Who do you play beside him? Jens was obviously in there against the Owls. I think Jack Taylor probably comes back in. If I'm being honest, I think he'll come in. He gives you a bit more legs away from home. Nunes is in the 10. I think he's the 10 now. I think we've seen that with his goals and his goal assists. So goal contributions. I think he's up to about 8 or 9 now. Jens was good. Adam, but I'd say you're playing at Sheffield Wednesday and they didn't have the legs in there. And yeah, Barry Bannon in there. He's what, 37? So Nunes in the 10, Philogene on the left, and I'm hoping that Jaden can get off his duck. And he can score a goal on the road because he's not really played that well away from home. I'm playing McAteer on the right. I thought Eggerly, this is where our fans need to sort of have a look at themselves sometimes, because I see a lot of stick for Casey after the game on Saturday, but I thought he done more than Eggerly did in 15 minutes than he done in 75. He got into some good positions. Yeah, he might have been a bit wasteful, but I thought he done okay. You know, he just needs a goal. He's very low on confidence. But I'm going to play McAteer out there instead of Eggerly in this away game. Jens goes missing too much this Shane. Up front, I'm going to play, probably going to go with Akpom. In this game. So it's a big few games for Chuba Akpom because he hasn't got going, as he hasn't got going in the 10. Do we think that he can play the 9? Because I don't think he's going to be playing the 10 anytime soon at the minute, because Nunes seems to have got that position wrapped up. So it's time for Chuba Akpom now to stand up. Obviously, a bit of transfer talk around sort of signing a striker. Sean says, Sonto Boniface looks encouraging, developing well in the 21s. At left back, good potential. Don't see it, Sean. I think some of these players, I watched the first half of that 21s game the other night. Charlton were absolute pony. There's a massive gap between 21s football and first team football. So I don't really see that, if I'm honest. He needs a good loan. Marvin says, is there likely to be any transfer activity for us in January? Yes, is the answer to that. Striker and a midfielder. Give me Harrison Reed. Give me Joel Pirro. I'll be quite happy with that. Trev says, Akpom needs to start showing something or send him back. I'm not sure if we can send him back. I'm not sure. Totally agree. Adam says about Eggerly doesn't do a lot and gets nothing. Said, except that he's a young player and needs time. Well, there you go. Casey McAteer didn't put the 12 million transfer fee on his head, folks. That's not his fault. So just give him a little bit of a chance, I say. And I'd say just be fair. You know, if someone has a poor game, it doesn't matter if they're an experienced player or they're a young player. You can say they've had a poor game. And when Casey comes on and he did all right in 15 minutes, should have had an assist. He lays one on the plate for Azon. It's not his fault that he misses it. Alex says, what's going on with Smodics? Well, he was obviously injured. Then he came back. Now, apparently, Alex, he's had a bit of illness, but he hasn't trained. I've seen a few bits floating around that we might try and move him on in January. Don't know how true that is. But he's been a disappointment to me, Sammy Smodics. I was really excited when we signed him from Blackburn off the back of that, 30-odd goals he scored, 31 goals for them. Thought he'd done his best work in that left-hand side, inside 10. But I think now we don't play that. We've got 2 wingers out there in Philogene and Jack Clark. Sammy possibly can be the backup to the 10. I wouldn't move him on now, Adam. I think with that one, I'd probably look to the summer, because I think when we're pushing for promotion, and there's going to be a lot of games, you get injuries. I think you need these people around, because I think he could make a difference in a game. He could go on a run. We could score some goals. I know he hasn't at the minute scored any this season, but he could be. So I think you'd keep him around. I think it'd be a little bit silly to move him on at the moment. Summertime, possibly, but then it depends what league we're in. If we went to the Prem, we'd have to look to move quite a few players on. So it's interesting. Adam says clubs we'd be interested in would be rivals. Yeah, and you don't want to give a rival a good player. Trev says Smolix could be on his way out. Pity, never shown his form and beset by injuries. Yeah, he is, but like I say, I'd keep him around the place. I think free to go out straight away would be Baggett, Cameron Humphreys and Harry Clark. That would free up free spaces, and you've got, like Rich said earlier in the chat there, I think Ben Johnson could be one under pressure, because you've paid a lot of, well, I know he was a free, but he's on a really good contract, so he's not getting the football. So he could be one you potentially move on. You could look to get a reserve left back in to sort of take the pressure off Leaf. I wouldn't be surprised if we went down that route, but I don't think it's a time for mass change in the January window. Although with an Azon and with an Akpom, I don't really know about them too. They're probably going to stay around. If it was down to me, I'd probably look to shift both of them back, but then that's another 2 spots to fill. So they haven't really worked out at the minute. Hopefully in the second half of the season they will. Marvin says, just read that Akpom is a season-long loan, contracted to Ajax till summer 2028. We are paying half his wages and have an obligation to buy, which is triggered if we go up at 7 million. Yeah, there is an obligation, mate, in there to, if we do go up, to buy him. But I'm not sure if Town can break that obligation, because at the minute, he's just playing a bit part. He didn't even get on the pitch on Saturday against Sheffield Wednesday. He scored 1 goal at Hull, bought into playing the 10. Nunes has taken that role now. George Hurst is now out injured for a few weeks. So this is his opportunity, and it'll be interesting to see what McKenna does with him. Does he believe that he can play in that 9 role? I still think that Azon's best work is when he comes off the bench. He's missed an absolute hatful of chances, that guy. He's got 2 goals. He could easily have 7 or 8. Pete says, if Burns comes back in the right side, does one of McAteer or Egg? We are not loaning Eggley out. What do these people think? Eggley's not going to get loaned out, Pete. We've paid 18 million for him. We're not going to loan him out. Blimey. McAteer won't get loaned out either. I think Wes Burns, we need to see what he is like when he gets back in the first team. I think Blackpool is probably penciled in for a game for him, but at the minute, I think he's behind them 2 players. I love Wes. I really do love Wes. I speak to David quite a lot, and I really hope he comes back. And when he does get that chance, that he grabs it with both hands. Adam says, guessing we will have a break clause, but will cost us to send him back. Yeah, that's probably Akpom. But yeah, Wes Burns, let's hope that he can hit the ground running. He gets a bit of luck as well. He got a bad knock against Leicester 21s in that game, and that set him back a couple of weeks. But he's fully fit now. So a lot of games over Christmas. Hopefully we can see him on the bench. Could try and get Eggley in the middle, says Shane. Yes, we could, but I think Nunes at the minute is our best option in there. I just think we've just got to stick to one thing. We can't keep changing it around. Nunes has found his way in there. I don't think that was his position that we bought him for, if I'm being brutally honest. But he's there and he's making a bit of a difference, let's just say. Marvin says, we've got so many that aren't playing to their max, and yet we are still 3rd and rising. GVT says, I really think that Greaves is a proper backup for left back. Good shout. That's a good shout. He came on. I can't remember what game it was he came on. I think it was Wrexham when he came on. And I thought he was really good there. Sean says, if an offer comes in for Wes, Town will take it. Free up some space in the squad. Who are you loaning out or selling? Wes is out of contract, Sean, in the summer. This is a pulls at your heartstrings when you've got players like Wes Burns still at the club, because I want him to come back in the team and I want him to play, and I want him to play well. So it's one of those we're just going to have to wait and see. Who am I loaning out or selling? Well, I'm getting rid of Humphreys and Baggett for starters, Sean. Probably loans at the minute. Harry Clark, Ben Johnson. There's 4. That's 4 spaces that you can free up just like that. Trev says Nunes is our best 10. Just needs to add a few goals like Chaplin. Different player, Trev. He's not a natural goal scorer, whereas Connor Chaplin is. He's got 3 goals, Nunes. If he scores 7 or 8 goals, I think I'll be quite happy with that return. He's probably going to get that amount of assists as well. And Norwich fans did tell us he was injury prone. Well, he's not been injured, touch wood, so far. So let's hope that he stays fit and he makes a real difference in that position come the end of the season. Alex Steele says, if Matasiru gets a booking and misses Kov, who do you play in midfield? For me, Jens and Nunes. Wow. You've got no legs in there, Alex. If you're playing both of them together, you would get absolutely overrun by Matt Grimes. I think Victor Torp's in there. Jack Taylor would be one in there for starters. And I think you probably have to play Jens in there, although they did try Ashley Young in there. Watch out for that one. Ashley Young did come on at Leicester and played a little bit in midfield. So Jens and Nunes, not for me. I think it was them two played against Charlton. That went really well. So we need another body in there for me. Harrison Reed, he's the boy I want from Fulham. Get him in. Come on, Ashton. Get the deal done. Anyway, quickly, we will do another 3.5 minutes. We'll go to 25. Leave your match predictions in the comments below or in the comments section on YouTube. Marvin says, have you spoken about the Brennan Johnson transfer rumour yet? Marvin, we all like Brennan Johnson, but I don't think Town are going to be really shelling out over 50 million in the Championship. It's not happening. Where did these rumours come from? Utter nonsense. Brennan Johnson is not going to be joining Town in January. I would be absolutely amazed if that transfer happened. Even if he went in the Premier League, Brennan Johnson's not dropping down from Spurs, scoring in the Europa League final to playing for Ipswich Town. Richard Chandler says he thinks Young will start in place of Matasiru if no one else is in by then. Good shout, Rich. But yeah, I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas who is watching this live and getting involved in the chat, and everyone who's watched, commented, liked, shared a video throughout the season. It is all massively appreciated. You know, I do this all on my own, in my own time. Don't get paid anything for it. Don't want to get paid anything for it. I just like coming on here, getting involved with people like the people in the chat, have a chat about Town and other things, a bit of cricket, and just chat. It's been a bit of a tough year for me. I wouldn't say I'm massively looking forward to Christmas. Went out with my boys this morning for breakfast. Looking forward to Boxing Day with them. Every Boxing Day we go to the footy, round my mum's, do the presents, and then off following the Town. So obviously Millwall this year, looking forward to that with them. Good afternoon, Tammy. Hope you're good. Merry Christmas to you. Marvin says Johnson would only be on loan, but he's not coming, Marvin. Come on. Get real. We are not getting Brennan Johnson. If he comes down my chimney for Christmas and Mark Ashton presents him on the 1st of January, I would be absolutely stunned. I would be stunned. It's not going to happen. He's not dropping back down to the Championship. He is a Premier League footballer, and obviously he's looking to go to the World Cup, so he's going to want to play at the highest level. Chris says, Merry Christmas to you all. So, yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone. Thanks for watching. We will be back on Boxing Day. We will do the review, probably Boxing Day evening when I get home. Marvin says, we've got more chance of England winning at the cricket. I think that's than Brennan Johnson coming to the Town. GVT says, Ross Bartley. What a shout that is. He's at Villa at the minute. Tammy says, Merry Christmas with a little snowman emoji. Yeah, we love them. Merry Christmas, everyone. And up the Town, says Shane. 30 seconds to get your Christmas shouts in, and then I'm out of here. I've got to go and wrap a few presents. Home Alone is on Channel 4, 5:30 tonight. Best Christmas film ever. Best Christmas film ever. Die Hard. Not a Christmas film. I can't have it. That is not a Christmas film, but Home Alone, the first one, is on 5:30. If you're not doing anything, get it on. And if you're doing something, just cancel your plans and watch that because it's the best film. Anyway, that's me out of here. Merry Christmas, everybody. Cheers for watching. We will see you all Boxing Day. Hope you have a brilliant time with your family tomorrow. Eat lots, drink lots, get lots of presents, and keep your fingers crossed that it's 3 points coming for Town at the Den on Boxing Day. My prediction, Millwall 0, Ipswich Town 2. Another 3 points on the way to chasing down Borough and Coventry. Anyway, have a fantastic time. Cheers for watching, and Merry Christmas to you all.